Hi everybody, how are you doing? So today we're gonna start a new topic and it's gonna be about mental health. Remember that I told you that I was gonna talk a lot about this, and I think that it's very important and that it should be talked about so that we create more awareness about it. Okay, so please subscribe, because if you subscribe, you get all the notifications of all the new videos that are coming up. So do that. You will be helping me out because, of course, I gain more subscribers, and the more the better. And also I gain more views, and you are notified of all these videos that I do. So I hope that you enjoy. Okay, so I said that I was gonna talk about mental health, and it is something that I deal with almost since forever. I can start telling you my story from the beginning so that you understand a little bit where this comes from. So it's not that depression just develops. It could be genetic, like in my case it is, or it could be developed by some trauma. So in my case, I just kind of was born with the tendency for it. But growing up, I was always a very lonely kid, so I would play alone a lot of the time. And that was kind of a good thing because it developed my passion for art and for drawing. And I am a little bit grateful. No, I actually am a lot grateful for that. Okay, and growing up, I kind of, when I entered the teenage age, I kind of started having more problems. Not that I had any trauma in my life. I never had any trauma in my life. It was a pretty happy childhood. I always had a nice life, but I've always had the tendency for it. And during my teenage years, I developed anorexia. So it wasn't that I wanted to be thin, I just wanted to gain some control in my life. And the only way that I could do that in my mind was by controlling what I ate. And by controlling what I ate, I felt much, much better. So that kind of led me to be hospitalized because I reached such a low weight that it threatened my health. So I was hospitalized, I got treatment, and then I was okay. I went to high school, I was okay. Everything was perfect, free of depression, with a lot of goals in my life, a lot of things that I wanted. And then I went to college. I really wanted to become an architect because I love the creativity of architecture. And everybody always told me that I couldn't go to art because it was not a profitable business. That is not true. That is not true at all, and I'm gonna prove it to you on my next video. But it's not a topic for now. So now let's start with college. During college, I made a lot of friends. I was very social, went to a lot of parties, and that was amazing. But then on the last year, I don't know if it was pressure or what it started going. So usually my depression tends to develop a little bit more with age. So I started getting a little bit down and I sought treatment. And I've been in medication before, but I started a new medication that actually kind of helped. My tendency is to just go to bed when I'm feeling down, and that's what I do the most. So at that period, I was kind of going to bed a lot, and that medication really helped. I finished my degree, then quickly after, I got a job. For about 6 years, everything was amazing, amazing. Then I moved to Germany because everything was amazing, but I wasn't happy with my career because I wanted my own business. I've always wanted my own business, and working for somebody else didn't quite fit that goal that I wanted. So I moved to Germany, still working as an architect, saving up money so that I could dedicate myself fully to art. It took a full 2 years, and during that period, I was already cycling back to depression. So painting was my release, but I was kind of feeling depressed. I didn't feel the need to go out. I would stay in all the time, painting, developing my technique, and I didn't feel very good in Germany because I didn't have a social life. But then my career started taking off, and I started coming here to New York. And in New York, everything was completely different. I met a lot of people, made a lot of friends. My social life was much better. So I set up the goal to come and live to New York. That took 5 years. I mean, counting the years that I was in architecture. After architecture and starting my business, it took 3 years to get me to New York. Okay, and then I was very depressed at that time, spent a lot of time in bed, had a lot of anxiety, but in my mind, I thought that coming to New York would solve all my problems. So I did come to New York. My life was way better because I had more friends, I went out a lot more. But of course, this disease comes with you. It's not like I left it in Germany. It came with me. So things were good for a couple of times. Most of the times when I go out, I get very excited and I'm very social, but nobody knows what goes on at home. So at home, I try to get a little bit more down, but I don't want to go out. I don't want to go out at all. I have no desire to do anything. There is nothing that interests me. Everything is a bore except painting. So painting is always what I do to feel better. And of course, being a painter and being an artist is also a business. So I do take care of the business part. That includes social media, that includes contacting with clients, contacting with galleries, going to openings, and meeting people in the industry. So I still take care of that, even though in my being, I don't even want to leave the apartment. So I have a lot of ups and downs. And lately, I had a very low period where I would just stay in bed. I would only go out of bed to paint. And then I would paint for like 2 hours, 4 hours, 6 hours, and then I would go straight to bed. And I want to tell you a little story. During this time, I was already 5 years in treatment with a doctor I don't want to talk bad about people, but it was a doctor that kept me on the same medication that wasn't working for 5 years and always told me that I should just get out of bed and do things. And for someone that has depression, that doesn't help. It's an internal thing that you need to resolve internally, and then, only then, will you have the desire to get out of bed and do things. So it's not the opposite. When you're depressed, getting out of bed and going to the street doesn't help at all. It's something that needs to be treated with therapy, sometimes with medication, like in my case. And then when you feel good, you can do anything. You feel like you can conquer the world. And after that, I discovered I should just change therapist. I'm in New York. I can seek the best. I can do different things. There are new medications that are not just the medications that have been around for 50 years. So I started a new doctor, started new medications, experimenting with what works and what doesn't work. And I found a point where there is medication that helps me. It gives me more desire to go out. It gives me more desire to do things. And that really, really helped. So my advice for you is, if you are doing a treatment, if you are doing something that doesn't help, don't just accept it. Because I used to be told that my life, not my life, because my career always took off. That was something that always motivated me. But that my feeling, the way that I feel, that I would never be happy. I would just be mildly okay. And I couldn't accept that. I didn't want to be mildly okay for the rest of my life. I want to live a full, happy, and joyful life. So there is treatment for that. And you shouldn't just accept that you'll be depressed for your whole life. If something isn't working, if a doctor isn't helping you, seek another one. Try different treatments. The doctor that I was on, you don't need to be in the same treatment for a whole year to see if it works. 2 weeks is enough. So the doctor that I was in was trying some new medication. If it didn't work after 2 weeks, she would change it. And that's the way to go. So there is something out there for you that can help you live a full life. And of course, you would always kind of have to deal with it. There are good days, there are bad days. And you have to deal with the bad days and just accept it. Not beat yourself up because you are not being productive that day. Just remind yourself, tomorrow will be better. And it usually is. When I'm really down, I just kind of accept it. Okay, this is just 1 day or 2 days and it will pass. And then when it passes, I'm very productive. I'm okay. I can go out and I can feel happiness. I can feel happiness, appreciate when I'm with people. I can appreciate my goals and be grateful for it. Because one thing that depression has is that no matter how many good things happen to you, no matter how much you achieve, you don't appreciate it. You're not able to appreciate it. And with proper treatment, you can gain that new passion for life. Be grateful for what you have. Appreciate more the people that are around you and that help you. So that is a very important thing. You should feel life. You shouldn't just be contracted in yourself. And remember, it's not your fault. No matter what people tell you, it's not your fault. It's not that you're lazy. It's not that you don't care about things. It's not that you are a numb person. You just have a condition. It's like you have a problem. You've broken a leg. It needs to be healed. You have a condition that needs to be treated. Either it is with therapy, and like I said, most of the times, I'm sorry to tell you this, but most of the times it does involve medication. So remember, it is not your fault in any way. You just need help for what you have, and only then will you get out of bed and go do things. Because a lot of people will just tell you, just do things and you'll feel better, but you kind of won't. It won't just go away because you're out there doing things. It will stay with you. You will have some good moments while you're with friends, and sometimes maybe not. And this is a serious disease. It can cripple you. It can prevent you to do things in your life. And a lot of people don't understand it and have stigma around it. So that is why it needs to be talked about. If you have it, talk about it. Don't keep it just to yourself, and especially don't be ashamed. You just need to do what's best for you, and it is kind of your responsibility to make people aware of how serious it is, because it can completely damage your life, and you need to take care of it while you still can, because it tends to get worse with age. So the sooner you take care of it, the better. Okay, so this is kind of all that I have for you today. I will have some more ideas that will be popping up in my mind and that I can share with you. I sometimes do lives on Instagram, not always, because sometimes I just don't feel like it, and I need to respect the way that I feel. So sometimes I just feel like painting freely, and I need to respect that. And that's perfectly okay. So if something pops up, and it will, I will talk more about this. I will go in depth with medication, because maybe it might help you. Who knows? Who knows? There's so many things out there, so many new things, so many new treatments. I can talk about that, and maybe in some way it will help you. So, okay, enough for today. Just please subscribe so that you can, it doesn't take much time, just subscribe so that you can get more information. And leave comments below, positive ones, because the bad ones I either deleted or disregarded. So leave positive comments. Tell me how you feel. Tell me if you are going through this, and maybe we can talk a little bit more, and I can have some. It's not that I know everything, but I've been dealing severely with this for about 7 years. Kind of my whole life, but 7 years have been really hard. So I kind of have some techniques, some breathing techniques, some visualization techniques, along with all the other treatments that I'm doing. So maybe I have some advice for you. So tell me how you feel. Tell me if you are going through this, and know that you are not alone, and that there is a cure. There is a cure that can make you feel a lot better and make everything go into remission. Okay, I love you guys. I want the best for you. And see you on my next video. Bye.